The older I got, the more I realized how stripped of all humanity I was at Logan River Academy. They take you at a time where you are unsure of who you are, unsure of what you stand for, and unsure of your future. They take your weakness and they use it to their advantage. They break you down until you are small pieces of a person and completely unrecognizable to yourself. My name is Samantha Gerson, and I lived firsthand in this hell for 9 months from 2008 until 2009. It wasn't until I left and looked back with clear eyes that I was able to see the trail of destruction that Logan River Academy had left on my life. Where do I even begin? Imagine being 15 years old, confused, alone, and longing for any form of understanding. Instead of getting any form of this, you instead were faced with a 5-foot by 8-foot room, or room where you were unable to move for 55 minutes on end, repeated for 24 hours a day, isolated from any human contact, and left to sit with your mind for hours on end. We were not treated like human beings, but instead like rabid animals who needed to be restrained and kept hidden. I personally suffered from PTSD. My triggers became my everyday routine. My anxiety became as familiar as breathing. I longed for a warm embrace, but was instead faced with no human contact and hours of isolation. Any form of touching at all was met with punishment, from the embrace of a friend to a simple high five. It became even more difficult when I realized that even my most intimate moments at Logan River would be supervised. I was unable to shower without the eyes of another, change without being stared at, and sleep without a flashlight exposing me throughout the night. Beyond the mental abuse, my physical well-being was jeopardized beyond repair. To this day, I suffer from an ongoing chronic illness due to not being treated during my time at Logan River Academy. I complained of stomach pains throughout my entire stay, blood in my stool, constant vomiting that usually had blood in it as well, and a lack of appetite. In response, staff had me sit alone in Devo and force-fed me meals to the point of puking. The pain only worsened and the blood became persistent. At Logan River Academy, we had an intense workout regimen in which we were forced to do physical activity 3 to 5 times a day. This consisted of running multiple miles each time, even in the snow, lifting weights, and then playing a sport. Usually, the pain would heighten during these activities, and if I would complain, I would be put in Devo or punished in a different way. The worse the pain got, the sicker I became, and the more trouble I got in. I truly believe, as well as multiple renowned physicians, that this vicious cycle led to my current ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Punishment at Logan River Academy rarely fit the crime and was always unreasonable. With that said, the harshest punishment was Devo. Devo was a room where students sat with feet to the floor and hands against the table for 55-minute intervals for up to 12 hours a day. During Devo, you would spend these 55 minutes at a table completely still in silence, have a 5-minute watched restroom break, and then resume the next 55 minutes. Meals were 15 minutes and done in silence. Showers were held next door to Devo, and 4 beds were already in Devo for those that needed to be contained for longer periods of time. For the unlucky students that had to sleep in there, the lights were left on throughout the night, and the students were not allowed to move or make a sound. Devo was a place of silence and complete solitude. This could go on for weeks or months at a time. My roommate and current best friend would disappear into Devo for weeks or months with no word. A different girl I attended Logan River Academy with spent 7 months of her 13 in Devo. Just imagine, 210 days alone in a room without any form of human contact except for those who put you there. As a current student of social work, I have had experience of working with a population similar to myself when I attended Logan River Academy. Throughout my education, I have come to the conclusion that everything occurring in the school is in total opposition to what the American Psychological Association deems as therapeutic. Much of the staff was without any qualification and under the age of 23. In terms of medication, there was no psychiatrist on staff. A retired man, aged around 75, came to the building once a month to prescribe new students medication. Over 2/3 of the students were on Seroquel, regardless of their reasons for being there. For those that don't know what Seroquel is, it is a medication for someone suffering from psychosis. Most of the students at Logan River Academy were depressed, recovering drug addicts, or had PTSD like myself. Seroquel was the furthest thing from the proper drug. One major side effect from Seroquel is it puts you to sleep. If you take it early enough in the day, it will make you zombie-like. This medication was being used improperly to create a more comfortable environment for the staff. With all of this being said, I completely realized I was in need of intervention during this period during my life. I instead received abuse, which only prolonged my recovery. I spent years of my life trying to understand why it was acceptable for me to be treated this way and was left with a lot of resentment. I now understand what it was. I needed to overcome my abuse and surpass my rebellious behavior. Logan River Academy did the far opposite. I lost a year of my life in this facility and only prolonged the process of healing and figuring out the path that I was meant to take.